differences in letting this and how this Canada side has been able to break through this year and reach that semifinal stage?
Yeah, I mean, the last Gold Cup, we had to learn some lessons. I think as a coach, you're always learning, and I certainly learned a few lessons in that moment. But it's 2 years ago, and I think since that time, we've been able to grow as a team, recruit new players, and I think the last qualification process was really important for this group of men to build a resilience, a camaraderie in games where you knew if you slipped up, your country had no chance of reaching a World Cup in 2022. Our dreams would have been up in smoke. So, that sort of pressure, that expectation, the scrutiny, the consequences, I think is just hardened the group. And, with those moments, confidence has grown. And as I say, I think in this tournament, it's continued to build.
Hi, John. It's Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press. I hope you're well.
I'm good.
Facing Mexico is always a big mountain to climb. I wonder how you would assess this Mexican side.
Yeah, like all the others, it has a very defined identity, how they want to play the game, which is high pressure. They want to impose themselves on any team that they play. And as I say, it carries some experience. There's players in there that have experienced the big highs and big moments for Mexican football. So it's a good opponent for us at this stage. We've got a Gold Cup final only one game away. Our players are nothing but excited for this test, and we'll embrace, whatever's going to get thrown at us. I think for us, being in a semi-final for the first time in a long time, there's just an excitement going into it. So, regardless of who the opponent is, I think we'll just be out there enjoying that moment and playing for our country and hopefully, putting a performance on that allows us to take it one more step into a final and really give this country something to celebrate.
John Molinaro.
Thank you. Hi, John. Good to see you. Thanks as always for taking the time to speak to us. With regards to, Lucas and Stephen Vittori, I mean, those are, especially Stephen, I would suggest that's a pretty big loss. I mean, how do you sort of overcome the absence of those two guys, and who might sort of step up in their absences?
Well, it was your starting centre-back and captain, and after all of the injuries we had in the forward line, it was our starting centre-forward in Lucas. And two of our most experienced players. So, yeah, it's difficult, but this is tournament football. You've got to expect those punches in the face. And if we're suffering, typically other teams are as well. It's never straightforward for any team. So I'm sure Mexico have got their challenges as well. But, when you talk about stepping up, Teshuak Ndeli came in at short notice, and he stepped up in the Costa Rica game. I thought he did a really, really good job at just slotting in and fitting back into our style of play, but more importantly, that moment, which I know he enjoyed. So we have young Theo Corbenar, we have Tyler Pasha. All of them have the ability to play in forward areas, and obviously in the defense there are people like Frank Sturring and Daniil Henry. I mean, these men have been waiting for their opportunities. So I think for us, it's good that these moments happen. I mean, we would love to be at full strength, but we know not all the teams are going to be at full strength at this Gold Cup. So that helps us understand our depth as we prepare for some other games that are coming in September and October. These guys get a real good chance to show what they can do and to keep letting Canada know we can rely on our depth.
Gavino De Falco, please.
Thank you. Hi, John. It's Gavino here in Montreal. John, Mexico haven't conceded a goal yet in 4 games. They have conceded only 5 shots on target through 4 games. What do you need to do offensively tomorrow to get more scoring chances against the powerhouse Mexico? Thank you.
Yeah, we've got to believe. We've got to believe first, Gabino, that we can. I think it does start with that belief. I mean, the mentality going into this game is, for the first time in a while, we've been real underdogs as a team, given like all the factors that have sort of impacted, whether it's been injuries or yellow cards, suspensions. So that's the first thing. This team's got to believe that they can do it. And the second thing is they've got a purpose. They've got a deep purpose to really get after this game. And I think that's the excitement for these players, that, we had a big win against Costa Rica. We had a good performance against the US in this tournament. But we know that, that one next step further for this country would be to tip the Mexicans up. And, if we could do that, I think it'll be a huge celebration back home. So, right at the core of this, we've got to believe we are connected and committed to doing it. And then the final thing is we might need a little bit of luck along the way, and that's football, tournament football. So one thing we do know is it's not going to be an easy night. It never is against Mexico. We're going to be resilient and it'll be a good night for Canada.
Kristen, Jack.
Thank you, John. Again, thanks for your time. No international football management can throw a lot of challenges your way. I wonder if you could just tell us what it's like a little bit this week in terms of managing one of your key players when he gets traded. What's a little bit like that, dealing with Mark when a big moment like that comes up in his life, to handle him, and how you manage somebody like that ahead of a big game like this?
Yeah, there's all sorts happening. There's things happening behind the scenes no one would know, in people's family lives and personal lives. And as I say, when you're in these tournament settings, you just got to expect the unexpected, smile when things are happening. And as I say, be there for your players. You have to be there for them as people first. And, people get maybe too excited about the X's and O's and the tactics of football. I mean, that's about 20% of your job when you're in these roles. The rest of your work is, being a friend, being a mentor, being a pseudo dad. You take on a raft of roles. And this week, Mark's been super professional. I've been really impressed with his leadership. He's been in our leadership group, and I've never seen him this focused playing for his country. So I don't think it's affected him too much, Christian, but I think, that there's always stuff going on in these tournaments that the media would never know. And it's just, you just learn to embrace it and be ready for pretty much anything.
Marcelino Hernandez.
Hi, Coach. Marcelino Hernandez from ESPN Mexico. Do you have 2 players that play in Mexican League, like Stephen Eustaquio and Lucas Cavallini? How they could help to bring an opportunity to Canada to beat Mexico the next night?
Yeah, well, I think Stefan played 4 minutes in Mexico before he did his ACL, and then obviously left the club, and Lucas unfortunately won't be playing. So the last time I think Lucas scored against Mexico, he was really up for that game. So those guys, I think Stefan, just as an experience with that style of football, I think he understands the high pressing and the high pressure tempo that you see in Mexican football. And I think with Lucas, well, he'll be behind the scenes just supporting the guys as he always is. He's an absolute rock, great character, and he'll be in the dressing room trying to ramp the guys up. I'm sure of that. But either way, it's a Mexican style that I think everyone, really enjoys playing against, because you have to be on your defensive game in those matches, and it really does bring the best out of a collective unit. If you're going to get a result against Mexico, you've got to have defended very well for 90 plus minutes, and that'll be our test. It'll be a great test to prepare us for bigger games coming. I don't know, this is a semi-final of a Gold Cup, but the World Cup qualifying matches are going to be awesome playing in Mexico. And we'll get a taste of that crowd again tonight. It's not the first time. We had it last Gold Cup, but they're unbelievable fans, and they create a hell of an atmosphere for any team. So again, we're going to embrace all of that and just enjoy it.
Hi, John. Thanks for taking the time. Given how the midfield performed on Sunday and the balance and flexibility that Mexico has there, how important will winning the midfield be tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think it's, if you look at how their midfield operate, Peter, they operate in areas often in front of your front line. They'll drop in to create back threes in the central areas, back threes in the side areas. Alvarez and Herrera are key players in setting Mexico, but a lot of that is a mask. The mask is they'll create that tight pentagon centrally, and those 5 players in that central channels will look to combine one-touch football, and some of it's just world class. It is really difficult to deal with. So the battle in the midfield is it's central spaces that you have to deny. I don't know if it comes down to players per se, but I think you almost need a whole team to deny what Mexico really want to take out of that game. And then when you deny that central space, they operate in the flanks, and then they bring new levels of quality there. So it's a game, like I said, you have to be really on your toes defensively. The last time we played them, we were able to keep them scoreless for something like 36 minutes, and they were able to score when we had 10 men on the pitch. And I think that was, we got some good learnings out of that match. And then when we shifted, tactics and systems, we were able to score. But the minute you opened up, they were able to score 3-4 minutes later. So, we'll take all of these learnings, we'll throw them into the big mixer, and we'll come out with a game plan and an approach tomorrow that, I think, one, allows these players to express themselves and try and impose themselves, and two, to embrace what's coming, which is a formidable attacking unit.
Final question to Richard Hanna.
Bueno, buenas tardes, profe. Mi nombre es Ramón Cortés de Arizona.
Go ahead, Richard. Richard Hanna.
Richard Hanna. Simon Borg, please.
Hi, Coach Herdman, Simon Borg with Sporting News. Coach Stephen Eustachio, he's become such an important part of the team. And I was hoping for a moment if you can go back and maybe share with us how you convinced him to represent Canada. What was your, how long did it take? What was that process like to ultimately convince him, and how satisfying is it for him and for you now to see it paying off?
Yeah, it was a long process with Stefan. It was a 2-year process, and he had a big opportunity still with Portugal. Playing at national level at all age groups. We kept talking, and the presentations that I would share with him were very clear. You have a chance to be part of something very special in a country that is ripe to do something special. you could be remembered as that group of men that changed the country forever, or you could go and represent Portugal and be remembered as just one of those guys that represented Portugal at the multiple tournaments they go to, World Cups and Euros. And I think, you know, that vision of seeing Canada in the 2022 World Cup, leading that group there, and then having a home World Cup in 2026, you know, it was a big pull for Stefan. And I think when he got injured in Mexico, he had a really tough time with his ACL. And, you know, I stayed in close contact with him that whole period of time. We brought him in to a Canadian camp to help him get additional treatment and have our top medical staff work with him. You know, he didn't have what I could see, great support where he was at in his club situation. So, you know, there was a lot of things that led to building a relationship, a partnership, a trust. And, you know, when push came to shove, yeah, he jumped on board, and I don't think he's looked back since. He's loved every minute of being part of this, and you can see he's enjoying his football in a red shirt.
Thank you, Coach John Herdman. All the best for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Continue this press conference with player Junior Hoilett that will join us in a couple of minutes. Okay, so we start with Junior Hoilett. But before, just a quick reminder about the interpretation. If you're going to make the questions in Spanish, just let us know so we can start the interpretation. So we go. First question with our Concacaf reporter, Arch Bell.
Hi, Junior. Thanks for your time. Last time you all played in the stadium and here in Houston, it was a really tough defeat to Haiti. So how motivating is it for you guys to get a crack at playing here in Houston in this stadium, and especially against Mexico in the semifinal? How geared up are you guys to maybe kind of extinguish some ghosts and make some history along the way?
Yeah, of course. Where the team is motivated, especially last time around, it was a tough defeat, but we got a stronger squad now and a more relentless group here, and we're all motivated. It's a final game to get us into the final, so everybody on board and knows their roles, and looking forward to tomorrow's matchup.
John Molinaro, please give me a second.
Thank you. Hey, Junior, thanks for taking the time to speak to us. I'm not sure how much you've followed Mexico through this tournament, but I was just wondering what you've made of them and how you think Canada matches up, you know, from a tactical perspective, and what you're expecting in tomorrow's game.
Of course, we're playing against the champions, so it's going to be a tough game, but we're up for it. We have nothing to lose. We got to go out there and fight and compete with them, especially coming off a good result we had last game against Costa Rica. The boys are motivated and confident going into this game to go out there and try to get the win. So we're playing against a great Mexican side, and but we're going to go out there and try force them into errors and capitalize on our chances.
Owen Evans.
Good afternoon, Junior. What do you think is the biggest specific threat that Mexico will present tomorrow, and what's the key to stopping it?
They have a good movement, and of course they move the ball well. So we just have to stay compact and minimize their chances going forward. If we could stay compact as a unit, and we'll be sure to counter on them, and we just have to be relentless and take our chances and shut them down. So it's gonna be a tough game. We're expecting a tough matchup against them, and going forward, no game is easy. So we gotta stay prepared and play to our strengths as well. I think they gotta fear us at the same time. We have good players here that can break the lines and really have them worry about us. So we're not going in the game on the back foot. We just have to stay organized, and sure, we'll be fine.
Christian Jack.
Thanks for your time, Junior. Good to speak to you again. You mentioned earlier the improvement the team has made since the 2019 Gold Cup. As a senior member of the leadership team and as someone who's been around football for a long time, what is it about this group away from the pitch that is different now than that didn't exist potentially in 2019 when you put together the squad attributes?
The bond in this group is something that's unmatchable. We got a tight group here, a brotherhood here that you can see takes it onto the pitch. Everybody's here to fight for each other with no egos here. So it's a tight brotherhood and a great team spirit that pushes us forward in games, and you can see that on the pitch, especially last game, the way we work for each other and everybody wants the best from each other. So that's what we didn't have in 2019, and it's just getting stronger and stronger each day.
Orlando Castellán.
Gracias. Mi pregunta va en español para que puedan dar la traducción. Muchas gracias. Orlando Castellán, Servicio Informativo en Deportes. El partido mañana siempre los equipos le juegan a tope a México, pero hoy por hoy Canadá viene haciendo un buen torneo en esta Copa Oro. Ustedes, muchos ponen a México como favorito. ¿Eso les quita a ustedes un poco más de presión de que México sea el favorito y ustedes no? Y si jugarían con esa presión que vaya a tener México por lo que viene haciendo durante el torneo.
Yeah, of course. Everybody has them as the favorites. They are the champions in 2019, so that puts a lot of pressure on their side, and just gives us nothing to lose. We just got to go out there and fight and give it our all. And we're looking forward to the matchups. Like I said, they're the champions, so they will be the favorites. But in our eyes, we have a lot to give, and they should be fair on us as well.
Two final questions. Ramón Cortés, please.
Muchas gracias. Buenas tardes. Preguntarte, a poco tiempo de jugar mañana ya contra México, con las estadísticas de ustedes, 10 goles a favor, México con 7 y México sin recibir gol, ¿cómo lo trabajan o cómo lo piensan ustedes para salir a jugar mañana ante México?
Yeah, we're very good going forward, so I'm sure we create chances. We just have to be relentless and capitalize on our opportunities, and then stay solid defensively, because I know they will create some chances as well, because they're a good team. So if we take our chances in the right moments, it will be a great result for us, I believe.
Final question, Gabino de Falco.
Thank you so much. Hi, Junior. Thank you for taking the time. Junior, the crowd tomorrow is going to play a major part in the game. Do you feel that you have to survive the first 10 minutes to maybe have like a little bit of confidence going on in the match? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere tomorrow. But in every game, you have to start off well. So we're not considering the fans to give us any extra pressure. As long as we start off well in any game we go into and build our way into it, it gives us a platform to build on. So that's a given for every game. We need to start off right in every game, from the first whistle and even to the last whistle. So like I said, we're just have to remain organized, compact, and stick to the game plan and capitalize on our strengths.
Thank you, Junior. Thank you for Team Canada for this press conference, and all the best for tomorrow.